Hello, everybody. Today, I'm very happy to have with us a practical energy expert who's actually doing things on the ground rather than talking about them like some of us. So, we are very happy. I'm very happy to have with us Milind Chittawar. Let's listen to him. Over to you, Milind.
Thank you, Subodh. It's definitely a great pleasure of talking to you. And first of all, thanks a lot for providing me this opportunity to join to your mission. And let me first of all highly appreciate the kind of thing you're doing. Right, you're bringing whatever everybody in their life have their best in some or the other field, right? And through your endeavor, you are bringing that to the table so that others can also view it. And then even sometimes I have really liked listening to myself, right? And then because that gives you a real realization, right, of so many things. So thanks a lot. So coming to me, I've been a passionate person for energy, right? It started with all forms of energy, but then later with National Property Council training, it went towards energy efficiency, and then it almost became my passion, right? And when you're trying to pursue your passion, right, uh, it's difficult that you would get that in any other organization. So then I took a decision that I will become entrepreneur, right? Because then I'm able to do what I'm really looking for, right? I have full freedom, right, to do some experiments as well, to do something different as well, right? So and I'm really lucky and I'm really happy that I could pursue my passion as my profession. And then later on I have tried to escalate that to a business, right? A profitable business, right? A business which is known to a good number of customers, right? So till that I have achieved success. Of course, what I have not achieved is a scaled up a business, but that's fine, right? I'm still continuing that, despite I'm 58, so-called retired age, right? But if you look at Subodh, right, where is the retirement, right? Absolutely, it's nowhere, right? You can always figure out, you can always find out what better you can do, right? So that keep me going, right? And I mean, having a clear goal in mind definitely helps us in trying to figure out like at what times what you're going to do. Like for example, we had about 70% of the revenue from the hospitality sector, and as corona impacted, right, our business literally shattered. But that's all part of the business, right? I mean, such kind of things come, and then that's a true test of your spirit, right? And then you respond to that, right? And then when you respond to that, you may come up even better, right? So in a nutshell, I would say that uh, how do you design your life, right, in totality, be it person, be it profession, be it your business, right, has to be something which completely depends on how well you craft it, right? Every year it won't go as you plan it, but that journey is what the life is, I would say. Subodhji, you're muted.
Yeah. Tell us a
Yeah.
bit more about what you actually do. I mean, what you were doing in the hospitality sector means what hotels and what does it mean to a practical person?
Absolutely.
Uh,
See, what happens is running cost of any industry, right, or any building or any commercial facility, right? The energy cost of it, right? Be it electricity, be it fuel of any kind, be it coal, be it natural gas, be it diesel, right? It costs quite a lot, right? And what happens is whatever controls which are possible in procurement, that any industry or any enterprise is doing reasonably well, right? But most of these costs are decided by the market, right? What is controllable further is the energy cost, right? And really very less work has happened, despite we have been working for 30 years before I started in this field. My field existed almost 15 years back. But the speed of new technologies is so very well that the scope for energy saving, it always exists. Like for example, I'll take a case of our work in hospitality industry, in which we work for Taj hotels across country, and I'm so happy to share that we have succeeded in reducing down their energy cost by more than 20% in 15 hotels across different parts of the country. be it deep interior in Kerala, right, called as Bekal, right, to north as Chandigarh, right, and to west as Jodhpur, right, and we could really deliver that, right. So that makes me quite happy, right. And the fundamental difference whenever you are working for reducing energy cost, everybody feels that let us put a solar photovoltaic,
Yeah.
right, right. So what happens is your industry runs for all 24 hours, right, whereas solar generation happens actually for 8 to 10 hours only, right. And the quantum of energy that you really need, right. So a house of two-story building, right, whatever electricity it can generate from its roof, right, that is sufficient for only two-story building in a air conditioned setup. So now you can imagine that multi-storied building, it is impossible, right, there's no space. And even if you procure your electricity through third party or you put up your solar farm outside, right, all that has a ROI of 4 years, right, whereas energy efficiency projects have ROI of 2 to 2.5 years, right. And energy consumption reduction is straightway adding to your productivity, whereas a solar project, a solar photovoltaic project, I'm not saying that one should not do it, one should definitely do that, but here you are actually uh, reducing your cost of energy procurement. You are not becoming efficient, right, by actually doing more by consuming less energy. And the number of technologies are as many as number of medicines are there in a medical shop. What doctor does in evaluating a patient, that finds out what is really needed, right, to for this patient to treat, and then suggests 3 4 5 medicines, and then those 3 4 5 medicines is taken. So our profession exactly works like that. So if I talk in a language of a five-star hotel, right? So chiller consumes, or HVAC consumes almost 50 to 55% of total electricity, right. Then we have lighting, we have hot water, right, requirement, we have kitchen, right, then we have lift and other loads, right, and including the ETP, STP, right, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So, putting up energy efficiency, I'll give you a simple example of like we had Fiat and Ambassador, right? Subodh, you must have owned a Fiat or an Ambassador long back, right?
Yeah.
And that used to give somewhere around 10 to 12 kilometer average maximum, right?
Yeah.
Now with hybrid, we get an average of almost like 19 to sometimes we report 26, 27,
Yeah.
right? So what is this? So this is basically energy efficiency improvement, right, wherein you are trying to do more work with the less energy. So like this, the improvement has happened in every industrial equipment, be it motors, be it compressors, be it blowers, be it pumps, and everywhere there is a saving potential, right, from at least 5% to as high as 30 35%, right. So these technologies, what they can do, we know them, right. We have built a very good supply chain with majority of the OEMs, right, and then we go to the industry as a technology independent and as a brand independent agency, and we figure out that what particular technology is needed, and then earlier we used to do only consulting, but customer wanted actual result on the ground, and we also wanted actual result on the ground. So then we started implementing from 2010 up to 2020. We were into, our major focus was hospitality, and less was on manufacturing industry. Now that has reversed, right? And we are so happy to say that again we have been able to come up with 15 to 20 technologies, right. And these technologies have great potential, and the ROI is definitely less than 2.5 years.
Hmm.
In some of the cases, even as low tariff of 5.5 rupees per unit, we have
Yeah.
been able to deliver ROI of less than 2.5 years
Okay.
to energy efficient technologies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I am very keen to promote energy efficiency in India. Most people are still hung up on solar and wind because that's what the talk in the national press is about. But those are yesterday's technologies as far as I mean, I was pushing them in 1991. So I'm saying, guys, this is 21st century. We need to, I mean, I wrote a note to do two things. One, we need to get out of LPG cooking. We just,
Absolutely.
we are just, okay, fine. I understand why we had to move to LPG cooking, and I support that. But the future is not LPG cooking. It simply cannot be. And that also on inefficient chulas. This is outrageous because we not only fossil fuel, we are also importing it. It's a double whammy. So that's my one point, that we need to get out of this LPG cooking. And there isn't enough move on non-LPG cooking. Basically, it means solar, and or it could mean induction cooking. So I don't know how far that has gone, but that's certainly in the US. There's quite a bit of movement towards induction. But more important, in India, I think we are going to make all these new factories. We are going to make all these hotels, and we are going to make all these office buildings. And that's where the energy efficiency is essential. There's a big debate now. The minister is saying AC must not be less than 20 Celsius. But, the point is not whether it is 18 or 20. The point is how much electricity are you using to make it 18 or 20, right?
So
It's a fake energy efficiency to say it should be 20. Let the people do it their way, but why can't we make it more efficient? Right?
actually,
That's
answering to your question, I mean, I was also wondering, like, why is that everybody is extremely bothered when it comes to their automobile efficiency, and even a single kilometer or half kilometer works a lot, and they would talk for that in hours, like this car is having this much mileage and that
uh,
car is having that much mileage. But beyond this, then people talk about solar photovoltaic, right?
uh,
Or at the most, hot water generation at their
uh,
rooftop. But
uh.
that's it. Right? There's nothing beyond this on energy efficiency. Whereas a
Oh,
whole lot
it's
of new
yeah.
technologies is there in the every product. So what I thought, like, we got net metering very late in Maharashtra, right? But I had put in 2012 itself complete solar requirement on rooftop. And on Saturday and Sunday, office is off. And at that time, whatever electricity we used to generate, the meter used to move in positive direction, because meter cannot
Correct.
understand that. We said, okay, right? How much energy we consume, right? It's finally an office premise, so we'll pay that. So that is the change we have to lead, right? If that is our passion, if that is our subject. Same thing I did at home, right? I mean, we implemented solar photovoltaic. We implemented a heat pump, right? Our none of the toilets are having those heaters, right? And
Yeah.
when we have removed those heaters, so three heaters into four bathrooms, right? So 12 kilowatt of connected load has been reduced, right? And only a captive heat pump of 3 kilowatt, right, is sufficient, right? Which is working as a backup for solar evacuated tube water heating application. So like this, I mean, one has to demonstrate, one has to lead by example, and it is all very much possible, right? And many times, I mean, it's not like people say that what is the payback period, right? So when we go for a vacation, do we say that what is the payback period? When we buy gold, right? Or when we spend money on leisure, right? Do we ever talk about it, right? We just do that, right? So same way,
Mm,
we need to enjoy the kind of energy we consume. And when you see that your house as well as your office as well as your transport, right, at least uh, having scope 1 and scope 2, right, this GHG emission quantification is there in the three languages, right? So at least these two scope, right, for me, as far as our house is concerned or our office is concerned, is definitely net positive, right? So these kind of things when we do, right, it definitely brings a change in the society. The neighbor starts doing it, right? Earlier there will be opposite, right? What's the point in doing this,
mm.
right? But then slowly there is a change in the society, right? And people start doing it, right? Now I get very less car in my single charge, right? But then anyway there are two cars, right? So one car can be EV, right? And from coming from home to office and home to for your work or your day movement, that much of charge is sufficient, right?
Yes.
So instead of what the EV or new energy efficient technology should do, right? What we should see is that whatever is our requirement, is that getting fulfilled properly or not? Is that getting fulfilled economically or not? And if that is getting fulfilled, we must do it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who are thinking about it this way. In fact, the smaller batteries are coming in some cars.
Yes,
And then they're saying, look, it's cheaper and it's not going to give you long distance. Okay. Don't think long distance. Just think your daily city commute.
absolutely.
Okay, so that, I mean, yes, that is coming. But what do you think of these buildings being made? These office buildings. Are
Yeah,
they new
I'll
ones?
come to
Are
that.
they energy efficient?
Yeah, I'll come to that, but you raised one very important point that LPG or any kind of coal or wood should go off from cooking, right? I completely agree with you. Like my daughter has shifted to and settled in Germany, right? So they don't have any LPG connection in their kitchen, right? It is all electric, right? All
Yeah,
forms of electric. Induction is
yeah,
there,
yeah,
normal heating type there, then
yeah,
microwave is also there, right?
yeah,
And whenever my daughter used to come, she used to tell my mother as well as her mother that it is possible to do different kinds of cooking. So they used to make laugh. How is it possible, right? But when my wife means her mother, when she went there, right, there was no LPG, right? You have to cook it on
yeah,
that, right? And there, my daughter literally demonstrated. Now we don't have option, right? We have to cook like this. And
yeah,
you sit down. I will cook everything. You name it, and I will cook it,
yeah,
right? She demonstrated that. Then I mean, her mother agreed, right? It's still difficult for my mother to agree on this thing, right? We live in a joint family, but see, that is how we have to lead it, right? So I have also just started cooking, and then what I said was like I will do cooking without LPG, right? And I
yeah,
will cook 1 week one dish only, right?
yeah,
And I have started doing that. So people have now, in my own family, people have started understanding. Yes, it is doable, right? You
yeah,
may like it or you may dislike it. So we have to force this kind of a change, right? And it's very much required, right? And all that the solar photovoltaic is taking a load for it. I mean, and you are burning less and less GHG emission for your needs and for your wants also, right? No
yeah.
problem.
One simple thing that's happening among Indian families here is that they've replaced the pressure cooker with this Insta Pot.
Yes,
Pressure cooker is now obsolete. Insta Pot everybody's got. Insta Pot is electric. The pressure cooker was natively put on the LPG stove, right? Because
exactly.
that's the way. And this Instapot is electric, and also it's auto shut off. Okay, you know Instapot, right? It's auto shut off.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that itself will bring, and also because the pressure is higher, it is very fast. And when it's very fast, it's using less energy. Right? Maybe not that much less, but certainly less because it takes energy to build the pressure. But you're done in 6, 7, 8 minutes.
Exactly.
That is actually, I think, I don't know why that Instapot is not yet so popular because here
You know, uh,
everybody is cooking with Instapot. All the Indians are cooking only with Instapot. Pressure cooker, nobody cooks because,
see, the younger generation is very much leading the change, right?
yeah,
And when we go and when we live with them for a few days, even for a few days, we really see that change has happened, and we are only behind, and we are not changing it, and we are just resisting it for sake of resisting,
well,
right?
I'm not the
So,
younger generation.
no, that I must appreciate, highly appreciate you, right?
I, you
So,
know,
so,
one of
so,
my older brothers, he wanted,
yeah.
he wanted to cook things. He says, I'm not going near the stove. I'm only going to use microwave.
Great.
Okay, whatever it is, I will create it with microwave because I don't want to get into this washing dishes and this and that and all. So in the same
Amazing.
pot, it will be cooked and same pot is presentable. So he used to only cook. He said, I have perfected fish. Come and eat my fish. I cook in the microwave. So I think if we have a little bit of creativity in this, use Instapot, use microwave, not just for reheating, but for actually cooking. The other day, I also made, an egg in the microwave. You just
Oh,
beat
wow.
the egg. No, you beat the egg and then you put a little bit of milk,
Right.
no oil, because you want to avoid that oil. And in 1 minute, you cook it in the microwave, and it has its own flavor. You
Oh,
can't
wow.
say you can't say it is not the same. You say that's stupid because you eat it as if something new.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And
yeah,
you
yeah.
have it. Now you don't have to wash the pan, huh? Because you are preparing it in the same dish. So you save on the water. Anyway, I think cooking at home is one thing, but I'm much more interested in the commercial and industrial sectors.
Sure, sure. So
That's
let's into that. I mean, recently I audited two plants consecutively 2 weeks. So one was in a plastic industry. It was basically manufacturing packaging material like the parachute oil or the Bornvita, right? So all those plastic containers, they manufacture that. And the other one is edible oil unit, right? And it was so interesting to see that I mean, in every single process, every single energy consuming equipment, there is some or the other way to save the energy, right? Or to improve the productivity or improve the production so that the specific energy consumption comes down. So some or the other option is always there, right? But then what happens is you cannot implement so many changes or so many technologies in a commercial or a industrial premises.
Yeah.
So what we have also understood is that the energy efficiency and economics, I mean, both of the things go hand in hand, right? So then what happens is, like, we have also taken a call that let us take only 4 to 6 projects, or
Yeah.
in rare cases 7 projects, right? But you should be able to deliver 20% reduction in the overall energy consumption,
Right.
right? So that is actually a tough thing, right?
Yeah.
Because what happens is your number of projects has to be manageable, right? Number
Yeah.
of changes you are trying to do, it should be
Yeah.
manageable. So we have taken, I mean, where from this 4 to 7 number has come, it has come from the practicality. Where from this
Correct.
20% has come, it has again come from the practicality,
Correct.
right? And then making it so handy, right? Through your implementation competencies or through your previous project case studies sharing, right? That you should be able to I mean, convince the customers, right, that yes, all this is very much doable, right? So like we go for a tourism, right? So we take our some of the customers for tourism, right? Let's come, let's go, and let's see to and there are several customers who are very open, right? They don't see this as a competition unless and until visitor is from the specific industry, right? But otherwise, other industries, people are absolutely open. They feel very happy, right, to share their work, right? So we demonstrate them that kind of a change. You see, this is very much doable, right? And using IoT technologies, we get all the parameters. We get energy consumption also on our fingertips, right? So we can clearly monitor that how much is the real reduction in the energy consumption,
Okay.
right?
So you're
And
proving it.
we have been very clear that we will be brand independent in this process. We will also be technology independent because
Yeah.
every case is rupee invested versus rupee saved,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Though business point of view, probably if we would have had more business oriented philosophies or approach, we would have probably been a slightly bigger business organization. But that's fine, right? We when we say that we are into energy, we are into um, cleaning the GHG emission, right? Our approach should also be as open, as clean, and as fair as possible, right?
Okay. So tell us a bit about your background, how you came to this,
Sure, sure, sure,
what
sure.
advice you
I'm
have
a,
for young people.
Definitely, right.
Yeah.
So I'm basically a mechanical engineer, right? After that, I did 1 year teaching. I always wanted to do something different. It was not clear to me what I'm going to do, right? And then I did MTech in metallurgy, right? And then I was suddenly selected to CSIR because I felt that I should do something research, something different, right? But then this practicality aspect of my profession or ambition, that was not getting fulfilled, right? Because today also, if you want to do doctorate, you can do doctorate on any topic. You are free to choose that, right?
Yeah.
But practically what happens is your topic useful, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, I am also doctorate, right? I did that from I am Indore. But is my topic useful to my own business, right?
Yeah.
If I apply all that to my own business, what is the gain I have got? So that's the utility of my doctorate, 7 years of work, right? So people are not very blunt on the research aspects of what's happening in the country, and because of fine patents will be there, paper writings will be there, but that's where I thought that no, I must get back to my own actual work wherein I will be able to implement the project and get the result in a real life scenario, right? So then I got selected at National Doctor Council Chennai, right? They are the leading agency in terms of training people on energy efficiency, and received that training, and then I started my consulting firm. And
Okay.
again, savings used to happen on paper,
Yeah.
right? Because as a consultant, you are supposed to deliver a report, right? And
Right.
we used to deliver that, and then all the savings was there in report, and in reality, it was not happening. So customer started saying that we want to implement. How can we implement? Can you help us in implementing? Right? We said that that's not our competence, right? So we build that all competence, right? And that we also found that so many cases, though theory is suggesting that so much saving potential is there, but in reality it is not. But whereas in many cases we were underestimating the saving potential. So
Yeah.
all our so-called scientific process of energy saving calculations, that got more and more practical, right? And today with so much of case studies, right, we simply say that you will save 15.5%, right?
Yeah.
Customer says, where from this 15.5% has come? I
Yeah.
said that have you seen doctor doing any calculations? Have you seen any doctor using calculator?
Yeah.
Right? So so he says that you no no you take 3 days of antibiotic, or you take 5 days of antibiotic, right?
Yeah.
That's how his understanding of the disease, right, and understanding of your own body resistance, right? So same way we have come to this method, and I was so happy to see that industry has accepted it. Industry has accepted. They say that if it is not there, we will definitely revert back to you, right? And we have to do so much of work with you. If the results are not there, why will we give you work, right?
Yeah.
But out of these 6 to 8 projects you have suggested, it's our job to choose one, right? It's our job to implement that one, right? And see what you say, that does that happen or not. And if it is happening, we'll get to second. If it is happening, get to third, right? And anyway, everybody understands that in the business world, right, we are not there to do only single business, right? So unless and until we demonstrate that yes, that much of savings are there, how will we get the business? So there are some customers who have started understanding it, right, and they are implementing it for complete plant wide. In corporate now there are clear cut KRAs that you have to reduce down the overall energy consumption by this
Yeah.
much percent, right?
Yeah.
Whereas earlier what it used to be KRA of individuals. Like for example, senior engineer will have a KRA of one project, right? He will do some project and he will say that yes, I have done this project. But that the overall quantum of the energy saving will be so less that it can't
Yeah.
be seen even at the department level, right?
Yeah.
It can't be seen, right? So that way, that kind of a change has come to the corporate level, wherein the corporate responsibility of reduction in total energy cost, reduction
Mm.
in total energy consumption.
Mm.
So that's where we are really enjoying the change that is happening, right? And we have also made our strategy that let us work for lesser number of customers, but let us work for their all the facilities, right? And let us really get to ask the corporate leader, the CSO, the chief sustainability officer, like why, what's your target, right?
Yeah.
How much energy you would like to reduce, right?
Mm.
And how much of it you feel that
Mm.
you would want to do through us, right?
Mm.
So now the talks are like this, and then we have to just do that, and we have to just deliver that. Right? Of
Okay.
course, we can't do this in all types of industry. We don't have competence in all, but wherever we have that competency is clearly numbered, right? I still remember in one of the Taj Hotel, we had given a saving of 19.5%, right? I was
Yeah.
not happy because we used to always talk 20. And you will surprise that after 5 years of demonstration of energy consumption, energy savings, right, it was 19.5%, right? So sometime we have to respect
Mm.
the profession, right, and
Yeah.
not something else, right? So
Yeah.
we are very clear that no, sorry, if you're looking, if you want to leave us for 0.5%, please leave us, right?
Yeah.
But we have evaluated that it is 19.5, so it is 19.5.
Right. Okay. All right. That's wonderful, actually, to hear of success on the ground. And any tips you have for young people?
Oh, yes, definitely. See, what happens is many people have passion, right? Everybody has passion, in fact, right? But then what happens is when people try to convert that passion into profession or passion into business, what happens is they also decide the way they are going to do the business, right? Like, for example, I'm an artist and I draw pictures, right? And I have a fantastic art, right? My art is highly appreciated, right? But I want to make a business out of it, right? So now people will have their own business plans, right, without consulting with anybody, right? They feel that I should be doing like this, I should be doing like that, and that doesn't work. And then they feel that no, 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 my decision of doing business on art was wrong. Here, my suggestion is that yes, you work in the field of art because that's what is your passion. But how your art can be converted to a big business plan, right? How can there are so many business tools, right? You have to undergo through the same business tools, irrespective of what business you are into, and then your business you're successful in business only when customers come to you. So what customer wants? So there is a huge market wherein customer wants output from arts,
Yeah.
right? So what are their choices? What do they want? What do they want to buy? Do they want the real physical art, or they are happy having some kind of a are drawn through a IT tool, right? So you have to evaluate market. You have to understand what customer wants, irrespective of what you. I'm not saying that the art passion guy has to look for business beyond art. No, it is very much within the art. But the way
Right.
they want to say that doesn't work, and that never works,
Yeah.
right? So for example, energy efficiency was my passion, and if I would have said that I will do my business this way, it won't work, right? I
Mm.
have to go to market. I have to
Yeah.
find out what is the energy efficiency
Mm.
customer demands are, and
Mm.
then I have to find out and I have to figure out how I can deliver that. How
Mm.
can I build an organization which
Mm.
will deliver that,
Mm.
right? How can I use various IT tools? How can I
Mm.
use various technology to deliver that particular demand?
Mm.
And here is I've seen so many people failing, and I really feel bad. They have done lots of hard work,
Mm.
right? So it's like cooking, right? You don't cook it to your taste. You cook it to the guest test, what
Yes.
or the family test who are going to eat it, right? And
Yes.
that's where the fundamental difference is.
Yeah.
So my very, I mean, I'm speaking from my heart that it is very much possible. And today's world, it is very much possible to convert any passion into profession. Any
Yeah.
passion, let it be, right? But it has to follow a test, and it has to pass a test of who is looking forward to buy that,
Yeah.
right?
Understood.
And
Yeah.
whatever they are looking forward to buy that, so
Yeah.
it has to be a reverse process. It cannot be a forward process.
Yeah.
So the market study has to be there, right? This is what they want, and which market, right? Your product will not go into every market, right? Your delivery of product, your pricing strategy, everything has to be dependent on buyer. But still, art, yes, your business will be on the art subject only. It is very much, and any scale of business is possible. Any scale
Yeah.
of business is
Yeah.
possible, and you can get so many different examples also, like those businesses which are built around art, right?
Yeah.
So this one fundamental check, if every passionate person puts into
Mm.
it, right?
Mm.
I'm very sure that they will be successful.
Okay. Well, it was. I'm very happy to have heard this passionate, come professional story in a field that I am quite interested in. And is there anything else you want to add here?
Yeah, definitely. See, what is happening is, and this is for the elderly people. I mean, those who are crossing 55 or crossing 60, right? I mean, financially, many of us may say that they don't have to earn, right? So why should one earn, right? But life is definitely there, right? And this life is now increasing, right? And you're bothered about your fitness, you're bothered about your hobbies, right? You are very much doing that, right? But what happens is your consumption of brain, right, has to be there, right? Because if I like singing, right, let's say, right, and I'm singing, right, it does not consume my brain, or whatever the brain consumption is very little, right? So you need to learn something. When you are learning something, then there is a brain consumption, and then I mean, you age less, right? And why I'm saying that aging less is important for us is because it's a 20-30 years of life, right? And a lot of thing one can do, right? Either unless and until somebody really wants to leave the profession, even enough is enough, then it's a different story, right? But financial requirement should not be the only criteria to retire or to leave the business, right? One can really contribute a lot to the society. I'm not saying doing social work. I'm saying that through business, through creativity, through hobbies, this is very important, right? And in fact, for keeping my health right, I started running half marathon at the age of 57 last year only, and I completed 10 marathons. I can't believe, like, being an asthmatic, I will ever be able to learn. I will be ever be able to run. But what's
Yeah.
wrong if I fail, right? After 10 kilometer, I will quit, right? So something wrong will happen to my life. Absolutely nothing will happen. We are quite averse to failing, right? There's nothing wrong. You'll try to learn new thing and you fail in learning that. And you are absolutely not a loser, right? Next time you will attempt, you will again do it. And when you will succeed, right, you will be absolutely a different person. So looking for something more, looking for something different, right? Looking for something creative, whatever you like, right? And which is very much within your affordability, right? One must do it very frankly, right? Finally, I mean, it's your life, right? Your children married, everything is well settled, right? You have times and times and times. Like, for example, what Subodh is doing, right? He's contacting different persons and then he's bringing them to listen to the world, right? So like this, I mean, one can figure out, right?
Yeah.
and one must do that. I will very, very strongly suggest that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. It has been a real pleasure to listen to you. Uh, Please stay online. I want to talk to you a little bit offline. Uh,
Sure.
let's end it here today. I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. Till then, bye, everybody.